In today's video, we're reviewing a $10 thrifted point and shoot camera and discussing if they're even worth picking up in 2024. Let's dive in. There's been a trend towards imperfect, raw, nostalgic photos and videos over the past few years, and I gotta say that I'm guilty of subscribing to it. Whether it be trying my hand at film photography, dusting off the family's old camcorder, or using my grandfather's vintage lenses on my mirrorless camera, there's something that's just fun about playing around with old tech. Last weekend, my friends and I went hiking, and instead of reaching for my $3,000 camera, I thought I'd try out this old point and shoot camera and just see what came of it. So before we jump into the pros and cons of this old camera, I just want to let you know that the JPEG and video files are available for free download in the description box. Also, for free down there is my preset that I'll be using on the images in this video. And while you're down there, it goes a really long way if you could just leave a like. Thank you so much, and let's dive back in. So what are the pros of using an old point and shoot camera like this one here, other than getting hipster points for carrying one? So first off, they're a dime a dozen. You don't need to buy this exact one. I got this for $10 Canadian at a thrift store. However, you can pick this exact model up on eBay for $30 US. I would say if you're in the market for one though, just scour your local Facebook marketplace and you'll easily see one come up for about 20 bucks. Next, I want to talk about the size of this camera. So on the hike, it was easily put in the pocket of my rain jacket. It'll fit in almost any pocket unless you wear skinny jeans. Next up, a lot of these point and shoot cameras have a built-in flash, and honestly, I think that's where you get the best results for photography using these cameras. It's like that hard flash look, not super diffused, and in indoor settings or low light settings, it looks really cool. Adding to the use case of this, I just want to bring up contrast as a point. So on my $3,000 camera that we're shooting on right now, everything's super like 4K, high quality, and modern looking. But if I just flash to this footage, it's a really good hard contrast between the two cameras that I think has its use case. We talked about it being cheap and a super small camera, so I actually want to add throw around factor as a category for this. We used it at a waterfall, and yeah, it was getting like mist all over it and things like that. Probably not the best for the camera. I doubt that it's weatherproof, but the fact that it's so cheap and they're easily replaceable, it's just nice to throw it in a bag without a case or just throw it in a pocket. If something happens to it, it really isn't the end of the world. Next up, even though this camera was released in the 2000s, it still uses an SD card like modern cameras. So on my MacBook Pro, it has an SD card reader, reduces the friction from me getting the files onto the computer. And while we're talking about that, a pro is file sizes. So for instance, this has a 2 GB card in it, which is so tiny by modern day standards. For the highest quality JPEG images, it gets me about 1,300 images on a 2 GB card, or 45 minutes of video, which is absolutely crazy. A lot of these old cameras, including this one, have a viewfinder, and I find that super helpful and just fun to shoot that style. Even some of the newer, more expensive cameras like a Sony ZV-1, which is like a point and shoot, or the ZV-E10, they're more like video focus and they lack the viewfinder, and I love having that. Next up, a lot of these cameras have a built-in lens with a zoom range, and this one is no exception. It ranges somewhere from like 23 millimeters to 50, I'd say, and it actually works pretty good. Last but not least, this camera has a manual mode, and you don't always need to use it in manual mode, but if I was new to photography, this would be like the perfect teacher camera to show me how my ISO, shutter speed, white balance, all of that works together to create a better image. So what are the cons of using a super cheap 20-year-old point and shoot camera? The first one I can think of is when you go out and shoot, if I have a $3,000 camera at home, why am I taking this super cheap camera? For a lot of people, it will be novelty and it's like a lot of fun. We talked a little bit about the contrast between having a really nice camera and the footage from that, and then quickly switching to footage like this for that nostalgic look. I do think there's a time and place for that. But sometimes when I come back from the hike and it was amazing and so beautiful, I'm a little upset that I didn't bring my more expensive camera. Now you can bring both, but at the same time, it's like when I go out, I like to go out with intention and purpose, not be like filming BTS on my phone and then stuff with my nice camera and then with this, and a little bit of photo and a little bit of video. It gets confusing, so I like to take just one camera with me, and I'm happy I took this hiking with me over the past weekend, but there are moments where it's like, oh, I really wish I had my cinema camera too. A few other cons that we'll bring up is this shoots JPEG only and not raw images, but as you saw in this video, it is actually fun to play around with the colors of even these JPEGs, and I thought they turned out pretty good. I do want to bring up battery life, and it's not great at all in this point and shoot camera and a lot of the other ones as well. This one uses AA batteries. I brought along 6. I went through them all, and I was shooting for about 4 hours, mostly just photography, but I think that flash takes a lot of battery, and then I have been shooting a lot of video with it, especially when I went on the hike this past weekend. Next, let's talk about autofocus, and it's 20-year-old technology, so a lot of times you have to like really half press probably 3-4 times before you actually get the focus points that you want. And you can manual focus as well, but I just prefer not to do that on a camera like this. Like we talked about, if you are a beginner, it's really cool to play with all the camera settings, but you don't get the chance to play around with aperture. So this is a lock f2.8 on the wide end, and if you zoom in, it goes to an f5.6. So that's just like fixed within the camera. You don't get to set your own aperture. And the last point, we already talked a little bit about quality, but obviously your quality is going to suffer. I don't think you're picking one of these up expecting like amazing photos and amazing videos. It's all about the novelty, and that kind of brings me to my final point. Like, should you pick up one of these cameras in 2024? My first point is that it's a whole lot cheaper than film. It is novel and it's a whole lot of fun. So honestly, you're not really losing by just like picking one up and trying it. It also is good for beginner photographers and people with kids who they can just like let them run wild with it. And if it breaks, not the end of the world. So let's finish answering this question with a quote from the comment section of a YouTube video. It says, "Every camera is a sleeper camera for an experienced photographer. It's mostly about having an eye for composition, knowing what to shoot, how to frame it, and how to capture the best lighting. The hardware all comes secondary." I added this comment to the video because I really resonate with the message from it. You could be shooting on a $3,000 camera or a $10 thrifted camera. It really doesn't matter. Are you having fun with the craft and enjoying what you're doing? At the end of the day, you can tell a story with absolutely any kind of gear. So I just really liked what this person had to say. The decision is yours, but you don't have much to lose. I had an absolute blast shooting with this, specifically indoors. So if it's like a family or friends games night or like a house party, I think that'd be like the most fun to use this. We'll see you in the next video. Maddie out. Peace.